You hear nothing of interest.
I guess I leave now. I can't, there's no one left. Everyone is at the gift shop, asked Van Whitman. That's why I was listening at the door, but I guess I could at least, like, walk in and check. You're using your lucky numbers as save names, as Speclad. Well, 1 is the luckiest number, and then it just gets less lucky as the numbers get higher. So, yes, but I'm using them in order by luck, from most to least. I can't leave, it would seem.
Don't stray too far in the big app.
Don't stray too far in the big app.
You hear nothing.
So, now what? There's nothing left. Everyone's gone.
It's a happy party goer.
I can't leave. Everybody else is gone. I can't get into the exhibits to examine closer. Eat the food, I guess, asks Van Whitman.
Feels like
I've certainly tried to before. Right, this is what I want. There we go.
looking at a small
Nope, that's the same. No, I don't think I need a hint yet, Speclad. I just need to click on stuff until something happens.
Don't touch it. Don't be greedy. The food and champagne look good, but you're trying to stay on a diet, so you make the wise decision to leave them alone.
Also, earlier in this game I was a vegetarian, but I routinely forget that. Yeah, it does involve clicking, says Speclad. Well, if that was going to be the hint, then that's not really a hint, because this is a point-and-click adventure game. Let's go ahead and steal one of these daggers.
You can't touch the daggers. You hear nothing of it.
Given that, everybody's gone now, surely the glass has to do something. Because that's all I'm sort of left with.
You hear.
The daggers speak, says Van Whitman in chat. Well, apparently not, because we heard nothing. But they might have.
You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You hear.
I'm apparently just sticking the glass up to these people's heads or something.
You hear nothing.
I can't leave. I can't talk to any of these people.
You can almost feel the low level of excitement in the room. Many of these partygoers have attended fundraising events, seeing the same people, eating the same food, talking about the same things, and generally leading very dreary high society lives.
I was actually trying to check that plant, but okay.
As you study everything in this room, you feel like you're being watched. Then you realize that the enormous eyes of Ramses II seem to be scrutinizing your every movement. You see the name, Arvin Sl-
Yeah, already did that.
Would be rude.
Pixels, pixels, pixels.
The food and... The food... The food... The food... The food... The food... The food and... Don't be greedy. You don't need another water glass. It is better to know some of... Questions are a burden. You get no response.
Dafu. That's right, Speclad. We brought back Digimon Ruby. Dafu is here!
You're having such a good time, I thought I'd introduce myself. I'm Laura Bow of the New Orleans Bows.
The fanatically happy snobs just ignore you entirely.
What jerks. But at least they're fanatically happy. I wonder if, I can use the drinking glass thing. I don't know even how I would do it here.
You hear nothing.
Maybe I need to, take a new job as the receptionist at the gift shop.
Laura, you'd never steal.
Are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure I would. You can't tell me what to be. Da 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 da. I mean, I must be missing something, and I feel like it's most likely to be outside. It could be that, there's some other item I'm supposed to get.
Silky.
And I just can't leave until I get that item.
There was silence. You get no... It is better... You hear nothing. You hear nothing. Feels like water.
Wow. How would you know to get the item, really? Asks Van Whitman. Well, because the game doesn't let me progress. My assumption is the game isn't letting me progress because I haven't done something, but it's presumably no longer overhearing people. And if it's not overhearing people, it's like gotta be either getting an item or finding some new clue. Use the class on the fountain, says Bequest. It wouldn't even let me take water from, like, the drinking water. Let's walk over there just to find out we can't do anything.
You can't touch the daggers on display in the...
I tried, Van Whitman.
Don't touch it.
There's not a lot of interaction options with the cash register.
Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here.
Nothing there. If you look at it, you just look at it.
Cash register.
It's the cash register. And if you try to interact with it, it says, "How dare you even think about stealing, Laura Bow?"
Never steal. You hear nothing of... You hear nothing of... You hear...
If you can give me a hint that doesn't give anything away, Speclad, I think we might be at that phase. It's probably just like some exact interaction I haven't thought of, probably glass on the correct wall or something.
You hear nothing. You hear... It's a colossal bust, presumably Ram's...
Fair point, Speclad. If it's something where I don't know, use your reason, use common sense. I don't know. I mean, it is time for the midstream break, so maybe I'll just noodle over it during the midstream break.
It's an alcove occupied by a...
Yeah, there's nothing over here. Get closer, Laura. Get closer.
You hear nothing of interest. You hear...
I just wanted to get a tumbler of champagne. Is there anything wrong with that? It's pixel hunting again, that's the hint. So Speclad, can you give me the level of hint of which tool I should be pixel hunting with? Like, is it literally walk to the right place again? Like, pixel hunting as in you just have to stand in the correct place, but I don't know which conversation I'm supposed to be overhearing? Or is it like I should be touching something or using one of the objects? Can you tell me which tool I should be pixel hunting with? Yeah, that would have been my probably second guess after having walked around for so much. So I'm gonna save, we're gonna midstream break, and then I'm gonna cry a lot. That's the plan. Save, midstream break, cry a lot. I did have a bit of a brainwave, which is, well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it, and then if I'm correct, I'll look really intelligent, and if I'm not, then I'm not gonna talk anymore about what brainwave I had.
A magnif...
No, stop this. Still made in Pittsburgh. Nope.
That's not... Upon...
Yep. I was thinking there could be a switcheroo, but, well, you know, I mean, I guess I can look closer.
The dagger shows Pittsburgh's high degree of craftsmanship.
Well, so much for that.
The urn is engraved with the name of Ignaz Leyendecker.
Yeah, I already saw that. Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going? What just happened? What are you doing? Where are you, Laura? What the hell is happening?
Looking at a small portion of...
Yeah, that's the same.
That
would be rude.
The food is free of... As you study everything, you see the name, Arvin Slatherlord Loudermilk III.
What is worthy of study? I mean, if this is going to be like Quest for Glory 1, find the 2 pixels that represent a bit of crumpled up paper below a stool level of nonsense, then we're going to be here forever. She encountered Delacroix behind the statue, says Fake Chat, and yet said nothing about it. She was too embarrassed.
What a fine warp and woof.
What a fine warp and
You
woof.
see nothing new here.
Let's stand far away and look at the museum through a magnifying glass.
Close inspection, you see. That's not. Upon close. That's not. Don't touch.
Don't touch the museum! You don't know where it's been! Help, I'm trapped in a museum trying to figure out an event.
The food and champagne look good. The tablecloth is dusted with breadcrumbs and stained with...
Mentioned something about the Pharaoh head's eyes before, says Nettie in chat.
Looking at a small portion of...
Yeah, but I always just look at some small portion. Don't touch the museum, it belongs in a museum, says Specklot in chat. Those museums are going to get pretty complicated in the future with entire museums in museums.
It's a colossal bust of the Pharaoh Ra.
Yeah, so it talked about the statue's eyes, because if you just sort of look around generally, then it's like you feel like you're being watched, but it's just the statue watching you. Trying to think of anything that seems particularly suspicious. I mean, the fact that I can't go into the back room, that seems very suspicious.
Yes, they're definitely ferns.
Wow!
Yes, they're... Yes. Upon close inspection, you see nothing.
Back to the rotunda.
Yep, nothing to do here.
As you study everything in this room, the urn is engraved. The food is free of bugs. Upon close inspection, that's not the sort of thing you want to examine too closely.
Isn't it, though?
That would be rude.
That would be rude! I mean, the fact that I've still done nothing with the gift shop is so specific. Maybe knock the urn, suggests Van Whitman. That seems like a properly, actually rude and terrible thing to do, so yeah, let's do that.
Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been.
You don't know where this urn has been.
Upon close...
I already looked in here.
That on the inside of the bowl is smiling. Upon close that's not the... There's an inscription on each...
Already did this.
Some native craftsman, it says, painted with pride, on each piece.
I know the carpet is suspicious, Van Whitman, but I wasn't able to do anything with it before.
Nice weave.
I think I tried the glass on the carpet.
You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You hear n- You hear You hear n-
Hide somewhere. Find somewhere to hide in the gift shop. Wait, can I do...
The bottom of the glass reads, manufactured by Lion Decker Glassworks, Coarse Gold, California.
Do we ever get to move on from that, or am I trapped here?
The cover isn't made of cheap leather. It's made of cheap imitation leather.
Even better.
The urn is engraved. As you study everything in this room...
As you study everything in this room... As you study everything in this room... You realize you're a little bit too drunk for this.
Looking at a small poor...
Looking at a small poor boy.
The food is free of bugs if...
With one magnifying glass, you can examine everything but that glass. With two magnifying glasses, you can examine everything, says Specklot in chat. That is as true as it is stupid.
A careful examination with the magnifying glass reveals this to be... a magnifying glass.
How did I do that? How did I perform that action? Use the glass on the urn and the fern. I did, Joey. This tells you the inscription.
See the name, Arvin Slatherlord Loudon.
And, you know, the history. And this, it doesn't even exist. You just study everything in the room.
You see the name. It's a marble bench. Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been.
Don't touch the bench.
It's a bench.
I needed the magnifying glass to determine that it was marble.
Potted specimens of the amazing giant air fern. It's a colossal, presumably It's a colossal, presumably... It's the center of the Lion Decker Museum Rotunda.
I don't think so, Van Whitman. This game is a little bit too late in the Sierra era for them to have left, like, major soft locks like that around. It's not inconceivable, but...
The marble is very shiny and smooth. The food is free of... As you study it, the urn is engraved. That would be rude. That's not the sort of... That's not...
You have a glass and a magnifying glass. You can now listen in on microscopic conversations, says Joey in chat. Pretty sure that's how that works. That follows.
Don't touch it. Don't touch... nice and clean.
Great.
That's not the sort... What a nice smooth glaze on that pot. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I don't know where it's been.
Why did you look over there to not touch it? You can't touch the dagger, Van Whitman, it just says.
You can't touch the daggers on display in the locked case. Don't touch it. Don't... Upon close inspection... That's not the sort... The dagger shows Pittsburgh. The dagger...
Everything is nothing! It's all for naught! Are there other doors at the back, asked Van Whitman. I mean, if there are, they're hidden behind, Ramses. There's that one, but you just get, blocked if you try to go there. And yeah, anything else would just have to be hidden behind Ramses' dumb face. Get a glass of turkey gravy, suggests Joey in chat. Oh, if I would if I could. Everything is nothing, it's all for naught, some philosopher. I'm that philosopher, Specklad. I'm that philosopher.
It's a happy party goer. This is the west. It's a fine column of rare Nepalese frogs.
What?
It's a fine column of rare black travertine marble quarried in the high Himalayan mountains. According to legend, these multi-ton blocks of marble were carried down to civilization on the backs of trained Nepalese frogs. Nepalese frogs are very large.
Huh.
The marble is very shiny and smooth. As you study the marble, you see the name, Arvin Slab.
Wow, that was close enough to this. Okay.
The marble is...
I tried, Van Whitman. I've done so much clicking about in the gift shop.
Very shiny.
I agree, Van Whitman. Like, I think it almost certainly has to have to do with the gift shop, but I can't make anything happen. I think we might need a deeper hint, Specklad. Maybe a, which actual area I need to be in. Gift shop, east, center, west, outside, close, or outside far. Yeah, I did figure it had to be the gift shop because nothing else has happened here.
Nice and clean. There's an inscription on each of the pots which reads, "These vessels were made by Welsh craftsmen."
Yeah, we already heard that.
There's an inscription.
I agree the paintings are suspicious, but I can't do a damned thing with them.
On close inspection, you see nothing new here. That's not the sort of thing... Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here. There's an inscription on... Upon close inspection, you see nothing.
This is fun.
Upon...
The title is Dagger of Amon Ra, says Van Whitman in chat. Yes, like these daggers right here, but those are replicas.
Not... That's... On each piece, you can see a tiny stamp that says,
Right, yeah.
Egyptian artifacts crafted...
I tried that, Van Whitman. I was trying to figure out that, like, my guess was that this had been swapped for a replica, but these are stamped made in Pittsburgh. And I even came back to check later to see if, like, oh, now they've been swapped, but no, they're still stamped made in Pittsburgh. So unless the real Dagger of Amon Ra was made in Pittsburgh...
Somebody was painting outside the line. On each piece. Some native craftsman did an excellent job of painting the bust. You can barely make out the signature. It says, painted with pride by Sam the Sham. Hey, that's not an Egyptian name.
Dun dun dun.
On each piece, upon close inspection, the rug is nice. There's an inscription on the rug. They still look like broken pots. They still... Don't touch it. You hear nothing of it. You hear nothing.
What if the Pittsburgh ones have the real What if the Pittsburgh ones have the real one falsely disguised as a Pittsburgh one? I've sort of run out of interactions with it.
You can't touch the dagger.
The car dude says he's under pressure. Could it be he faked the dagger, planted one he made up, and it was never real? Asked Van Whitman in chat. Sure, but I currently have no evidence of that, and even if I do, or even if I did, it's not helping me to make progress here.
The dagger shows Pittsburgh. You hear nothing of interest. You hear... It is better to know some...
Talk to the dagger.
You can't touch the daggers on display.
Take notes about the dagger.
While this is an interesting approach, it serves no... The dagger shows
Can't look at, like, the carpet around it.
The dagger... Upon close inspection, you see...
Okay, I have magnifying glassed every article on all of these shelves, and this and this and this, and all four of these.
That's not the sort...
And the daggers, I don't know if I can look at the bottom row.
That's not... Upon close inspection...
Apparently not. I don't think you can, Van Whitman. Unless... Am I looking at different daggers? It's impossible to tell if I'm looking at different daggers. I posited this exact theory, but there was no way for me to, like, look at all of the daggers one by one. But yeah, there was, just the game is pixel hell.
The dagger shows a high degree of craftsmanship. So
the real dagger is there, on display. It's 7 o'clock, far too late for ladies to be out.
This gift shop is closed. You should not be here.
Oh, I'm sorry. The door was unlocked.
Unlocked? My assistant will be disciplined harshly for this mistake. Please rejoin the party now. I will be forced to injure you.
So, yes, the real dagger is there. The real dagger is in the gift shop. Whoever stole it really just swapped it out. Why can't I save? Why can't I save? So that is exactly what I theorized when I came back from midstream break. I just didn't know how evil the pixel hunting was gonna be. If he's in the gift shop, that means he's not here. Or he is.
Back to the rotunda.
Not sure how he got back so fast, but he did, apparently. Turns out they just misplaced the dagger. Oops, no thief all along, says Speckbot in chat.
It's closed.
How are you in both places?
Advance.
I think the real crime here is that a set of identical twins are passing themselves off as one angry German man. Hello there, Mr. Cop.
Miss Bow?
Oh, no, it's him.
Oh, Mr. Dorian?
That's right.
Dear, your shoes. They aren't exactly formal.
Oh, well, I can explain that, but not right now.
I see. Well, what brings you here?
You.
Oh, me?
You told me you'd be here tonight, and, well, I thought we should talk.
Oh, about what?
About how I'm Roger Wilco who went through puberty.
For a minute. The moonlight is very nice tonight.
Well, all right. I think I'd enjoy that.
Roger Wilco went through puberty, teleported back to 1926, and is now Steve Dorian. That's the answer. Almost positive they're the same voice actor, just with really bad pitch manipulation.
I just wanted to explain to you...
Where are these roses?
You're not Steve Dorian?
Well, yes, I am Steve Dorian, but I felt like I didn't give you the most accurate impression of myself when I met you earlier today. But, gee willikers, I'm just not...
Oh, gee willikers.
Ladies on the docks.
I wasn't down there looking for a man. I'm a professional journalist working on a story.
Oh, well, yes, of course you are. I didn't mean to imply anything. In fact, I was very impressed with your professionalism and with your smile. I just didn't want you to think I'm a common stevedore.
I'm an uncommon
I was wondering what a stevedore was doing at this ritzy museum fundraiser.
My stevedore job pays the bills, but I'm aiming for a career as an artist. However, I'm really here because I'd hate myself for the rest of my life if I didn't try to see you again. Maybe I'm a fool, maybe you think we're too different, but I had to try.
Well,
Is really the story of how Laura Bow found a man at the docks.
I'm not very good with women. I've spent all my time working ever since I was 10 years old, when my father died. I've never...
Did he fake the dagger? He is an artist, says Van Whitman
Lately,
in
I've
chat.
spent my free time going to school.
I'm starting to think we're more alike than I first thought. My mother died when I was very young, so I was raised by my father. What kind of an artist are you?
I'm a painter, and I do a little sculpting.
How interesting. But I think that an artist would know enough not to wear work boots with his tuxedo at a formal party.
Oh, I said I'd explain that, didn't I? I was hoping nobody would notice. I had to blow 2 weeks' pay to rent this tux, but I didn't have enough left over to rent the fancy shoes. It's just that I had to see you again.
This is an invite-only party. Renting a tux doesn't let you in.
My goodness. I don't know what to
I think Joey's making a joke, Van
You'll
Whitman.
have dinner with me some evening. I may seem a little odd, but I promise that I'm harmless. I'd be honored to spend an evening with you and show you the sights around town.
If you just pitch down a woman's voice, it doesn't sound like a man's voice. It sounds like a pitched down woman's voice.
I think I can trust you.
Really? You'll do it? Oh, thank you. You won't regret it. I'll make it a memorable evening.
Yes, Becklad, I did see a bouncer on my initial entry.
What do you want?
Well, there's no need to get carried away. Let's see how dinner goes first.
Of course, you're absolutely right. I don't seem too anxious, do I?
Maybe just a bit.
Why does every person here have a high forehead, asked Van Whitman? Look at Laura Bow's complete lack of a brain case in her
What do
cranium.
you want?
I think this is the beginning of something important, Steve. I like you already.
Wow.
Let's go back to the party, Steve.
This is 1926. Not even the first date. The kiss before the first date. Yowza. Laura Bow's a slut by the standards of the time. Okay. He's walking like he's got shit down his legs. He doesn't really know how to walk. Am I allowed to leave now? Have I done all of the events in this place? Not gonna try. Well, you know what? I am gonna try going into there once I save, just in case I get killed. Well, that's welcome to the romantic subplot of. Oh, now we're talking. Now we are talking.
This is a mastodon, one of the early mammals. Technically, the mastodon is not a dinosaur at all, but since they date back to prehistory, they're included in the exhibit.
Oh, fucking God.
This particular example of the order Proboscidea is the Mammoth americanus, or North American mastodon. The chief feature which distinguishes this shaggy beast from the elephant and the woolly mammoth are its molar teeth.
The mastodons are so recent, like so recent.
The museum staff have labeled this a Struthiomimus, literally ostrich mimic.
hiding the skull until the museum is locked, says Speculate in chat. I'm betting there is something about, like, hiding in here or, you know, otherwise getting more access to the museum than I'm supposed to.
This is an Archaeopteryx. Correction, this used to be an Archaeopteryx.
Is it? It couldn't look more like a painting of a cat.
Even in close-up, this is nothing more than a fossilized Archaeopteryx. In every respect, it appears to be untampered with and normal. Under close inspection, you can see that this pile of bones could indeed be assembled to resemble the skeleton of a mastodon. Determining whether or not the reproduction is at all accurate is beyond your expertise.
Did they know how recent mastodons were in the 1920s, asked Nettie. You know what? I simply don't know. I simply don't know.
Ah, a very nice specimen of Eohippus. Somewhat flatter than it appeared in real life.
Somewhat more flattering than it appeared in real life.
As you carefully examine the fossilized remains of the Eohippus, you cannot help but reflect on how brief our lifespans are in relation to the age of the Earth.
Fascinating.
You sigh heavily at the existentialism of it all. Then you return to your investigation. This is an Eriops skull. Such a large capacity mandible and teensy capacity cranium.
I was just talking about your tiny brain case a while ago there, Laura Bow.
In every apparent respect, this is a perfectly normal million-year-old chunk of a prehistoric creature's endoskeleton.
Certainly hope it's a lot more than 1,000,000 years old. Okay, can't go that way. Obviously, I could leave again.
Achtung! Terrorists are not allowed in this room at this time. You are disturbing the paintings. Raus! You leave now! Mach schnell!
Okay, but we can still get in here, which suggests there's something to do in here. So probably we can get to the exhibit where the dagger is supposed to be. I just need to guess where that is.
A fairly accurate model of Struthiomimus.
Accurate. I mean, we only know dinos and chickens are related in the early 2000s, says Van Whitman. Yeah, I mean, I simply have no idea how much they actually knew about dinosaurs in the 1920s. I have no clue.
Close, this is an impressively realistic model. The animal's hide appears to be either very real or a spectacular fake, and the stitch marks are beautifully hidden.
That dino is ripped, says Specklad in chat. Wow, Pluto, you're ripped!
The male and female Triceratops look every inch the proud parents. In this diorama, 2 baby Triceratops are emerging from their eggs. Viewing this quaint domestic scene causes a slight twinge right in your maternal instincts.
Right in the maternal instincts.
Suspended overhead by thin wires, the pterodactyl frozen in mid-swoop presents a most horrific tableau. Looking at the pterodactyl from here through the magnifying glass is pointless.
She said that with such derision, like, why would you even think to do that, you imbecile?
Spinosaur. The painting is accurate and workmanly, with little regard for nuance or emotion. It's a very big painting of a Spinosaur.
You learn from the magnifying glass that it's big. Good. Hello. So we're in an evil area now. Pterodactyls are huge, like really huge, says Van Whitman in chat. We don't really have a sense of how high this is hung above us. Like at no point does it become clear when we're underneath it. So, you know, it could be huge. I don't freaking know. And technically they're not dinosaurs. Well, of course they're not, but who cares? Could have at least asked Steve to check out the dinosaurs with you, says Nettie. Could have arranged our first date right then. I'm not going to stare at every exhibit. I only care about one. What? Oh no, this is, oh god, this is some kind of, the races of the world and oh no. This is a bad one. This is not a good exhibit.
Panamanian head looks a little worried. The head looks like that of a North American Plains Indian. You've read many exciting stories.
Remember human zoos, as Van Whitman? I think we're in one. Nobody lives in Russia, says Specklad. True and true. What are these people just unearthed? They're not from... Wait. So these are just pictures of faces, but I think these are actual human heads that have been, like, stuffed and put on the wall like hunting trophies.
It's the head of a Cro-Magnon man. My, how people have changed.
Not in particular. If it was actually the head of a Cro-Magnon man, it would just look like a person's head. Cro-Magnon men were anatomically modern Homo sapiens sapiens.
It's the head of a Ramapithecus man. It's the head of an Australopithecus man. Poor little fellow. The plaque says there were animal tooth marks in his skull.
It's the people who got caught after hours before, says Specklad.
The head is from Mongolia. You've heard that the Mongols would have taken over the world if their ponies' legs hadn't been so short.
What? What is that? It's like racist, but also nonsense. What the hell are you talking? Okay, we're gonna get out of the racism room. I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, that's this way. Okay. Oh, I guess that's every way. Pet the dog, says Specklad in chat.
It's rather strange to be petting a dog wearing armor, doesn't it?
Yeah, it also feels quite illegal to be touching the exhibits. I guess I can't interact with that door. I've walked into a picture frame. I am now in a picture frame. I feel like saving because that's freaking me out. Their horses are shorter but really fast, says Van Whitman of Mongol horses. I can believe that, but I don't know if that's really what stopped them from taking over the world so much as bad administration.
The door is locked. When you touch the doorknob, you get a heavy coating of dust all over the palm of your hand. Don't touch it.
Here we go.
It looks remarkably like a glass case in the shape of a pyramid. A small card informs you that this case contained the famous Dagger of Amon Ra, which is now missing.
Oh no, they didn't take over the world because they got licked out of Japan and Java, says Van Whitman. I don't know if I can agree that that's what the problem was. I think basically the problem with the Mongolian Empire is they spread themselves so far and weren't able to administrate effectively at that range. And so with the death of whichever Khan, they sort of split and became a bunch of different empires, and the Yuan lasted a long time, but it wasn't the whole Mongol Empire.
There are no signs of forced entry into the display. There aren't even any fingerprints.
Anymore, after the cops have scutterooed them up so badly. Imagine if the Mongols had balloons and steam carts, says Nettie in chat.
You hear nothing of interest.
Well, there are no fingerprints, so let's put some on of our own.
Congratulations. You've cracked the case of the Dagger of Amon Ra.
Well, that was wildly incompetent.
A close look at the pyramid shows you the grainy texture of limestone, which you find highly educational.
Do I now? So long as I busted everything, let's take
You've
this too.
Done enough damage for one day. Leave it alone.
Can I sweep up the glass?
Don't touch the shards of glass. They're sharp. You might cut yourself.
Is this a Sierra game or not? I should be able to kill myself on it.
Mother warned you about when you were little and everything in your life was dangerous.
Don't forget about the Mongol submarines. Best Dragon in chat. God, they've forgotten their history. Sierra has clearly forgotten who they are by the time they're making this game, because I can't kill myself on the glass. Can I at least leap out the window to my death?
The window is cool to the touch. Since the window is sealed shut, you're unable to open it.
And dive out to your death.
When you give the pillar a push, the only effect you have is to move a few molecules of stone, which seems rather dull, so you stop doing it.
Wow.
A close look shows you grainy limestone.
Neat.
The placard says, "This is a granite stele depicting Horus and Thoth found in the Temple of Amon Ra. This stele was modified during the reign of the pharaoh Akhenaten, then restored during the reign of Tutankhamun."
I think that word is pronounced Stella or something like that. It's S-T-E-L-E, and I think it's sometimes spelled S-T-E with a hat, L-E, and I'm fairly certain it's not pronounced steel.
At close range, you see large words on paper.
Wow.
A sepulchral stele found in a tomb of the 6th dynasty.
Akhenaten, he was praising Aten, says Van Whitman in chat.
Tita, who served under Tita's successor Pepi. Una died during the reign of King Merena, full of days and honor.
I mean, Atenism in ancient Egypt is utterly fascinating, and I don't think it has any relevance to the Dagger of Amon Ra. Hello.
Looks aren't everything.
What does that mean? Like I can't even observe what this thing is?
This is a magnified piece of the ancient Egypt exhibit room.
What?
Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been.
What are you talking about? This is obviously a thing on the ground. What is going on?
Don't touch it. Looks aren't... Ironically, there's a gold Ankh medallion, the ancient Egyptian symbol of life.
What did I miss?
Pool of blood.
Oh. There's a... Wow, the cops are really incompetent if there was a pool of blood here and nobody checked it.
This is a magnified piece of the...
Now that is some kind of pixel hunting right there. Jesus Christ.
A close look reveals the initials P.S. inscribed in the back of the bloody Ankh.
P.S. I mean, Tut is a nickname, so if his name is Pierre Smith...
A close look reveals the initials P... You pick it up and place it in your purse.
Let's just ruin this evidence. No problem. Let's go ahead and stick our fingers in the blood while we're at it.
Touch it. Looks are... You're in the ancient... Looks. Look. An inner mummy coffin with Hatshepsut at her death. An outer mummy...
Can I really not look at the, PS equals pawn shop, says Specglad? Can I really not look at the blood? Okay. The Avatar broke in here and stole the dagger, says Nettie. Oh no, the last thing we need is for this game to turn into a Richard Garriott hell. King's Quest V did that, and it wasn't okay then.
This placard describes the full translated text on the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, I'm gonna check the sarcophagi, Van Whitman.
In summary, the text records the decree made at Canopus by the priesthood in honor of the pharaoh Ptolemy III, Euergetes I, who reigned from 247 to 222 BC. The decree discusses the great benefits which the pharaoh had conferred on Egypt and states what festivals are to be celebrated in his honor, concluding with orders that a copy of the decree in hieroglyphics, Demotic and Greek shall be placed in every large temple in Egypt.
And only one of them survived.
The card identifies the slab, the rosette. You notice that half of the Rosetta Stone seems to be missing from the display, replaced by a small card that reads, Artifact 310 removed from display for research on 9/1/26 by O.M.
Fascinating. Return the slab, says Van Whitman in chat. It's too bad that, What? Oh my god, I can taste this puzzle coming. Oh no! Who is OM, asks Van Whitman. I don't know, we've got PS and OM now. Oh no! What do I write down for this? I think this is actually, like, there's a standard transliteration. It's total bullshit. Like, ancient Egyptian did not have vowels and didn't have, it's quasi-ideographic, so using a transliteration like this is utter madness. But I think this is the standard transliteration. Just write down the Unicode characters of the hieroglyphs, says Specglad in chat. What a perfect idea. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to quickly search on DuckDuckGo, not Google, for DOSBox screenshot. And then I'm going to make screenshots, and then I'll have them aside anytime I need them. Control F5. Do I have any evidence that made a screenshot? Yes, okay, that did work, fine. Looking for the DOSBox window again. There it is. If I just have a screenshot of each of these, then I can reference that worst case scenario. I hope this isn't just copy protection. So unfortunately, we only have half of the Rosetta Stone, so we only know the letters up to M. That makes sense.
A mummy coffin built during the 19th dynasty. Inside and outside, both coffin and cover are decorated with large figures of gods, vignettes, and inscriptions from the Book of the Dead, as well as emblems and decorations painted in bright colors.
What do you mean inside? Did I open it? It looks pretty closed to me.
A close look reveals brightly painted scenes of the deceased playing a board game with Amon Ra, water skiing with the goddess Sekhmet,
Seems likely.
drinking at a tavern with Thoth, the god of wisdom.
Yep, that all seems likely.
In essence, these painted scenes served the purpose of candid family photos, even though they never actually happened. Armed with these snapshots, the deceased could try and con his way safely through the underworld to meet the gods themselves. Usually, the gods had good memories and would never remember meeting the deceased, whose soul would then die of embarrassment.
This is a new version of Egyptology here. Yep, that seems like a fine thing to do.